Hello everybody, my name is Hallie Harnagel. I am the artist behind the Intertwining Stories Macramé project that is here behind me, as well as the Artworks macrame workshops that we've been doing since April. So all of these projects, the macro macrame and the workshops, are all part of the 2021 annual fundraiser for Artworks. We are no longer doing our workshops, but we are still selling macrame kits. So here I am to give you a tutorial on how to make your very own plant hanger. So you can purchase a kit from Artworks at our website and pick them up on Tuesdays, and then follow along with this video to complete your own macrame plant hanger. The plant hanger I will show you a little later, but I will explain to you what we have in the kits and a little bit more about our project. So first things first, what do you get in the kit? The kit will have the materials to make your own plant hanger. It will have materials to make fiber tassels that look just like this, and it will have a butterfly template designed by Jerry Nettermeyer. Let me see if I can find it. That looks just like this. So you have 3 projects in this kit. 2 of those projects, both the decorated butterfly, can be returned. Both the dedicated butterfly and the fiber tassels, there we go, can be returned to Artworks to be included in our installation that you see right behind me. So we did our installation on September 12th, 2021, and we are still adding pieces to it. So if you purchase a kit, you still want to be part of that project, you are welcome to return those items and we will include it in this big piece. I want to share a little about the concept behind this piece. This piece is called Intertwining Stories, and the reason for that is because it's a community project. The goal was to connect our community with working artists, which is the mission of Artworks, especially after this really hard year and a half. So Intertwining Stories is just that. It's a community project where we had volunteers come together to tie the final knots of this project, and then we included pieces from our community artists as well as our general community on the final project. What I like about this project is that every person tells a story, and every piece that is included is part of that story. And so that's where the name Intertwining Stories came from, is we are telling the story of our community, of our art community, of our general South Metro Egan community, and that is what we're up to. So today, I will not be teaching you how to do the fiber tassels or the butterfly template. There are instructions in the kit for those fiber tassels, and the butterfly template can be decorated any way you want. That could be watercolor, collage, coloring, colored pencil, whatever it is you do. Feel free to decorate that butterfly in a way that is suited for you. What I will be teaching you is the basic of macrame. So we'll be going over knots such as the lark's head knot, the spiral knot or the half square knot, our gathering knot, that's the hardest knot we have, and the full square knot and alternating square knot. That sounds like a lot, but if you notice, 3 of the 5 were all part of our square knot. So it's pretty easy. I got you covered. You'll have a chance to follow along. I'll show you every step of the way. So in your kit, you have all the materials for the tassels. You have a bundle of embroidery floss, a bundle of cord, and a little bitty needle that you'll see taped to this piece of paper. Those pieces can be set aside for now. You will not need that. The pieces you do need. You need the back of this paper because it has a visual of the knots, so you can reference a photo of the knots here. You will need your written instructions. So we have different ways of learning, all of us. If you are a reader, you can take in information by reading it. It is right here. I will be following along with this material because even though I've taught this class so many times, I still get the lengths of everything mixed up. So your instructions, your big bundle of cord right here. This is 8 11-foot cords that you will be using, so set those aside. You'll have a little bundle just like this be used for our gathering knot, and a wooden ring. The final thing you will need is on your butterfly template. If you look at your butterfly template, you will see there is a 6-inch ruler across the top of that template. So you will need that with you as well. So let's get started. The first thing you need is your wooden ring. So I'm going to be showing you how to do this by hanging my ring on a hook. This is a really good option because gravity helps you keep the strings down. So a hook on your wall, or you can like tape it to your chair. If you tape it, I'd recommend, I'm gonna use this piece of cord to show you, taping across the top like so that the bottom remains open. If you don't have anything to hang it from or a chair to tape it to, you can also tape it flat to a table so that it is laying flat. Again, taping across the top so that the bottom that is closest to you is open and able to move up and down. So grab your wooden ring, put it wherever you'd like, whether that's taped on a table, taped on a chair, or hanging on a hook. Set that there. You'll need your little bit of cord. You can just set that aside. Go ahead and untape it and set it aside. It is paper tape. You just have to rip the tape and then set it aside. And then finally, your big pieces. These might get a little tangled. When you undo your tape, you'll see that there are 8 ends all next to each other. Hold on to those 8 ends. I may have missed one. And then help. They're just gonna undo like so. There we go. So get that untangled. We will work with one of these cords at a time. Once your long cords are untangled and in a more manageable bundle, you're gonna grab one cord at a time and fold it in half. So I have the bottoms matched, and then I have a loop here in the middle. I want this loop right there, the bundles matched on the bottom. We're gonna do what's called a lark's head knot. For the lark's head knot, you are going to bring your loop in front of your wooden ring, like so. Reach behind your ring and pull the loop down so that now you have your 2 ends hanging down and the loop hanging down. You're going to open the loop with your pointer and finger and thumb and grab the 2 cords in front of it, pull it through till the ends come through, and then cinch it tight. We'll do that 7 more times so you'll have a chance to see. So then you grab your next cord, fold that in half, so you have a loop at the top. We'll do it again. You have the loop at the top. You'll bring it in front of your wooden ring. Reach behind your wooden ring and grab the loop, pulling it through and down. So you have 2 strings on the bottom hanging down, and then your loop right here. With your pointer finger and thumb, reach into the loop, grab the 2 long cords and pull them through. And then let that cinch tight to the wooden ring. You're just gonna stack these next to each other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So continue to do that. I'll tell you one more time, and feel free to pause the video. So again, fold this cord in half. Grab your loop, which would be your middle point of your cord. Bring that loop in front of your wooden ring. Reach behind the wooden ring, pulling the loop through and down. You have 2 long cords hanging in front of the ring, and you have the loop hanging behind it. With your pointer finger and thumb, open the loop, grab the 2 cords in front of the ring, pull them through the loop, all the way through, and then cinch tight. Do that with the remaining cords, and I'll meet back up with you. Now that you have all 8 cords attached to the ring, you're going to grab your short cord. This cord is about 3.5 feet long. So grab this and we're going to move on to the gathering knot. As I said earlier, this is the hardest knot you will do in the entire project. I promise you'll get it. It just might take a few times. Fortunately for macrame, you just undo the knot and try again. So you've got this. I'll show you exactly how to do it. You have your shorter cord. You are going to fold that cord in thirds so that one end is about halfway down the string. So you have a long friend here and a short. You are going to then flip it upside down so that the loop is on the bottom and the 2 ends are on the top. Again, a short end and a long end. Then I'm going to place these 2 ends right up in front of the wooden ring. So you see I have a short cord here and a long cord here. Loop, oops. The loop is hanging down in front of all 8 cords that you've just attached to the wooden ring. Keeping the small tail up, you're going to take the long tail and wrap it. It's going to be in front of the wooden ring. Wrap it behind all the cords, including the short tail and the loop. So it will look like this. Short tail here, loop in front of the cords, long tail wrapping around all 16 cords and the loop. Continue this long tail, continue to wrap it around, stacking, making sure they don't overlay each other, but they go little lines, one underneath the other. You keep wrapping until you have a shorter tail. I got about 6 full wraps in there. So now my tail that I just wrapped with is shorter, but you can see it's now way down here. I am going to take this end that I just wrapped with and put it inside the loop. So your loop is still in front, you're just gonna bring that cord through the loop. Hold onto that cord, making sure it's in the loop, then come up to your little tail at the top and begin to pull up. You will see as you pull the cord, the little tail that was up by the ring, as you pull that up, the loop gets shorter, which will catch the cord that wrapped around and pull it behind those little wraps. You have a little, so now you'll see you have a long tail at the top and a short tail at the bottom. You want to be sure you keep a tail at the bottom, so hold on to that as you continue to pull that loop behind those wrapped pieces. Once you see that the loop, you cannot see the loop anymore, it's behind here. You're going to take the little tail on the bottom, the big tail on the top, and pull tight, which is creating a knot that you can't see, but is really, really sturdy. Pull, pull, pull. Once that's pulled, you can snip off this cord and the tail on the bottom. So snip off those two tails, it is fully secure. And that is what we call a gathering knot. So now you have 8 lark's head knots across the top, 1 gathering knot right here that you've cut the tails off of, which leaves 16 cords hanging down. So we started with 8 11-foot cords, we folded each one in half, so now we're working with 16 5.5-foot cords. Our first step is to grab 4 of the cords, just 4. So we have 16, we're gonna grab 4. I kind of like to just separate them out, set the big bundle of cord away from me. We're going to be working in 4 sections of 4 cords. This first section, we're going to create, well, all the sections. This first step is to create our spiral knot. So this is exactly as it sounds. It's going to begin to create a spiral, or what is also called the half square knot. So when we are working with 4 cords, we have what we call working cords and filler cords. If you lay all 4 cords flat, you will see that the cord, if you are looking at your cords, the cord in your right hand and your left hand, the 2 end cords are what we call our working cords, and then the 2 cords in the middle are what we call filler cords. So the first step is the cord in your right hand. You are going to make a backwards 4 with the tail of the 4 of the right hand cord coming over the 2 filler cords. Backwards 4, tail of the right cord coming over the filler. That cord in your left hand then comes over the tail of the right cord that you've crossed over the filler. You're going to bring it around the back, the left cord around the back, reach through the front of the 4 and pull all the way through. So now it looks like this. And then you take those cords in your hand, the 2 working cords, the filler cords never move, and cinch them up to the top. I know that probably sounded really confusing. We're gonna do it again. So your right hand cord is working cord 1. Your left hand cord is working cord 2. With working cord 1 in your right hand, you're gonna create a backwards 4 with the tail coming over the front of the 2 filler cords in the middle. Working cord 2 in your left hand comes over the tail of working cord 1. It wraps in front, so it's in front of that cord, working cord 1 tail. It wraps behind the 2 filler cords. You reach through the 4, grab the tail of that left hand cord and pull it through. Then cinch it to the top. A reminder that you have written instructions to tell you how to do this. You also have a visual representation right here on the back of your papers. So multiple ways to learn this. I'll show you again. The cord in your right hand makes a backwards 4 over the 2 filler cords in the middle. The cord in your left hand crosses over the tail of the right cord. Behind the back of the 2 filler cords, you reach through that backwards 4, grab the cord that's behind the 2 filler, and pull it through. As you do this, you will see that you begin to create a spiral. We'll do it again. Backwards 4 with the cord in your right hand. The tail of that backwards 4 goes over the 2 filler cords in the middle. The left hand cord goes over the tail of that backwards 4, around the back of the 2 middle cords. You reach through the backwards 4 and pull it through. Cinch to the top. As you can see on mine, it's beginning to spiral. So instead of fighting my cords, because I'm like, well, I want to make this backwards 4, but this cord wants to go to the other side, I'm going to let it do just that. So now, I still have the cord in my right hand and my left hand. I'm going to bring the cord in my left hand around the back to my right hand, and the cord in my right hand around the front to my left hand. That's all. They just switched spots. What I do still doesn't change. I continue with that backwards 4 motion. So the cord that's now in my right hand continues to make that backwards 4 in front of the 2 filler cords. Take the cord in your left hand, bring it in front of the tail of your backwards 4, around the back of your filler cords, reach through that backwards 4, pull it through, then cinch tight to the top. We are going to continue this motion for 5 inches using these 4 cords. Once we've reached 5 inches, we are then going to grab another 4 cords and continue the same process. I'm going to go ahead and do that, speed this video up. You feel free to pause the video and we will catch up on our next step. See you soon. As you can see, we now have all 4 groups of 4 wrapped in a 5-inch spiral knot, and it looks like this. Ta-da! So next step, we are going to take one of our groups of 4 and just tie a basic overhand knot with all of the 4 cords to then sit at the base of that spiral you have going there. So just a really basic knot right there. Do that to all 4 pieces. So again, just a basic overhand knot with all 4 cords. And then cinch them up. You want to have your butterfly handy here for the next step. So finish this last one. It. So we have a spiral on each row and then a knot right at the base. You're going to grab your little butterfly because you want your ruler. You're going to go down. I have to look at the instructions. I keep changing these numbers. Four inches. So right at the bottom of this basic knot, put that line and go down to 4 inches and leave that blank and tie another overhand knot. And your knot will possibly move when you go to cinch it up, and this gap might become shorter or longer. So if I double check, yeah, I'm about 4 inches. If it does get shorter or longer, don't worry about redoing it. Just try to make all your other knots line up. So again, we go 4 inches down, or however long the first one was, and do another overhand knot, creating just a really basic knot, leaving a gap so that they're relatively the same. Perfect. So you are halfway done with the project. That was quick. So we have 5 inches of spiral on 4 different groups of 4. 5 inches of spiral, a basic knot, a 4-inch gap, and another basic knot right underneath. We are then going to grab one of our groups of 4. And if you look at the bottom, you will see that there are 2 long cords and 2 short cords. The reason for this is that with your filler cords in the middle don't move, and only your working cords do. So your working cords got short and your filler cords stayed the same. So for our next step, what we're gonna do is we're going to make the 2 shorter cords our filler cords. So those are just gonna hang. My short cords are just gonna hang down. My 2 long cords now become my right and left working cord. So I'll say that again. You have 4 cords, 2 are shorter than the other. The 2 in the middle are going to be the shorter cords, and then your working cords on the right and left are the 2 longer cords. So we're about to move into the square knot. This is a full square knot. You've already done a half square knot, so you're halfway there. So I'll show you what to do. For the full square knot, you're going to do just what you did up here, making a backwards 4 across the 2 cords in the middle. You then, with the right cord, bring the left cord over the tail of that backwards 4, around the back of the 2 filler, then reach through the backwards 4 and pull it through. Then cinch up to the top. So here's where it changes. Instead of doing that motion over and over and over again, we're gonna finish the square knot by doing the other side. So you will take the cord in your left hand, make a regular 4 with the tail going over the 2 filler cords. This is with the left hand cord. The cord in your right hand goes over the tail of the 4, around the back of the filler cords, then you reach through the 4 and pull it through. Cinch it to the top. That is 1 square knot. We now have to do the other side. So the cord in your right hand, make a backwards 4 over the 2 filler cords. Take the left hand cord, bring it in front of the tail of the backwards 4, around the 2 filler cords in the middle, reach through the backwards 4, and pull that tail through. Cinch to the top. Now we'll do the opposite. Left hand cord. You make a regular 4 with the tail going over the 2 middle cords. The right hand cord goes over the tail of the 4, around the back of the filler, reach through the 4, pull that through. So we have another full square knot. We're going to do this for another 3 inches. I have a quick trick for you because my brain sometimes forgets which side I just did. So if you were to hold this, you'll see that it kind of sits flat. If you hold it flat, you'll see that one cord is coming to the front and one cord's kind of pointing to the back. What you want to think is the cord that points to the back is always going to be the cord that you make the 4 or backwards 4. So right now, you'll see my right hand cord is coming to the front. Sorry, my left hand cord is coming to the front. My right hand cord is coming to the back. So that means my right hand cord needs to make that backwards 4 in front of the 2 filler cords. Then that left hand cord goes over the tail, around the 2 fillers, and through. So now if you look, the right hand cord is coming forward, the left hand cord is coming backwards. So whatever cord is in the back needs to come forward, which means a regular 4 over the 2 fillers. And you continue just like that. So continue this action for 3 inches on all 4 sets, and I will meet back up with you. So now we have our 4 groups of square knots here at the bottom. So what have we done so far? We've done our lark's head knots at the top, all 8 of them, our gathering knot, our 4 sets of spirals, standard knot, gap, standard knot, and then our 4 sets of square knots. We're getting close to the end. So what we're gonna do, you already know the knots. It's just gonna change what cords we use. I'll explain. We're moving to an alternating square knot. So you're gonna grab 2 sets of the 4. So set those 2 sets over there, just for now. So you have 2 sets, just like this. Lay your square knot rows flat so that they are right next to each other. So you have 8 cords coming down. You're gonna take the 2 cords on the right end and set them aside. The 2 cords on the left end, set those aside. So now you only have 4 cords, and if you see, you have 2 cords of this bundle and 2 cords of this bundle. You're going to go down 3 inches and create 1 full square knot. So, using our new filler cords, so you have 1 filler cord from this bundle, 1 filler cord from the other, which means 1 working cord from this bundle and 1 working cord from the other. So make that backwards 4 in front of the 2 filler, bring that left cord in front of the tail of the backwards 4, and then pull through the backwards 4. Do not cinch up, keep that 3-inch gap. And then do the other side with the left hand cord, make a standard 4 over the 2 filler, bring the right hand cord over the tail of that 4 around the back of the filler, pull through, and then cinch that up to where you left the first half of the knot. So you will see when I pull these apart, you have a little V just like that. So we're gonna do that again with the next alternating cords. So grab one of those, the next bundle that's right next to these 2 tails. So you have this bundle, you're gonna lay it flat and grab the 2 inside cords. So you have 2 from the right hand bundle, 2 cords from the left. The 2 cords on the left hand are from the one that already has an alternating square knot. Go down 3 inches with that right hand cord, make a backwards 4 over the 2 filler cords. The left hand cord comes over the tail and makes that first half of the square knot, remembering not to cinch it up to the top, but match it to the square knot that you've already done. Now do the other half, standard 4 over the 2 fillers of your left hand cord, right hand cord over the tail of the 4 through the back, and then cinch it up to that first half of your square knot. And then we just moved, so we now have 2 V's. 1, 2. So now I have the 2 cords left. I have the last bundle that hasn't been used yet. I'm gonna set that next to and grab the 2 inside cords. Oops. Oh no. There we go. And do the same thing, making a single square knot at the same level of the 2 knots you've already done. So we now have 3 V's. Ta-da! So now you have 2 cords on the right hand side and 2 cords all the way on the left. You're gonna match those together so that it cinches them all up into a circle. Doing a single square knot at the same level of all the knots you've already done. So now, all of your cords are connected with a single square knot. We're going to do another row of alternating square knots using this 1 knot as our reference point. So you see that that's a bundle of 4. We're gonna grab that 1 square knot and the square knot next to it and take the 2 cords on the inside of each. Go down another 3 inches and repeat the process, making a single square knot. You're beginning to make the net that your pot is going to sit into. So now it looks like that. You have knots coming down, creating a little diamond. So continue to do that around the whole thing. Connecting all our little bundles back up again, creating our little net. And again, if it's not exactly 3 inches, that's okay. Just make sure that they're all the same. And then those final cords that haven't been matched up yet, go there and do that 1 square knot. Okay, so what have we done so far? Our 8 lark's head knots, our gathering knot at the top, our sets of 5-inch spirals, a standard knot, gap of 4 inches, standard knot, 3 inches of full square knot. We went down 3 inches and did our first alternating square knot, just 1, all the way around. Then we went down another 3 inches and did another row of alternating square knots. We have 1 step left. You're gonna gather all the cords together into your hand and make 1 big overhand knot at the very bottom. One thing to keep in mind, dependent on the size of your pot will determine where your knot goes. So if you have a pretty small base of a pot, you're gonna want that knot to be pretty close to this bottom row of alternating square knots. If your pot is a little bit wider, you're gonna bring it down 3 or 4 inches away from that bottom row. Most of my pots are pretty small, so I'm gonna gather all the cords in my hand, make that overhand knot, pull all the cords through, and because my pots are pretty small, I'm gonna cinch it pretty close to the base, about 1 inch or 2 away from this last set of alternating square knots. And then I like to take each individual cord and just pull. What this does is it cinches your knot, this last knot, but also makes it just look a little bit prettier. So pull each strand individually. We're almost there, we're almost there. And then the final step, you will see that the bottom, not all of the cords are the same length. You then cut at any length. You can have a long fringe, you can have a short fringe, but just cut them off so they're even, and you are finished. So that is how you make a macrame plant hanger. I'm gonna grab a plant hanger that has a plant in it so you can see what it looks like. This is a pretty big pot that's in this plant hanger, but this is what you just made. So find a pot, find a bowl, find whatever you'd like, and stick it in there and see that you did it. You made a whole plant hanger all on your own. And that's super cool. So, good job. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for supporting the Artworks 2021 annual fundraiser. If you have any questions at all regarding this plant hanger, there's a step you got lost on, or anything like that, we do have a group page on Facebook that you can ask questions at. You just go to the Artworks Facebook page and look in our groups, and you will see that there is a macrame group in there. The other option is to send me personally an email, and that is Hallie@artworksegan.org, and Hallie is Haley. So you can send me a message and say, hey, I got lost on step 6, and I can send you some pictures and help you figure that out. We want this to be a successful project for you. We want it to be functional. So feel free to reach out and ask questions. And good work. If you're not a plant person, that's okay. If you don't have a plant to put in your plant hanger, you can always put in a bowl, and then this can hang at next to your front door where you put your keys, or next to your bed where you can put like your jewelry or your extra coins or whatever it is. So it doesn't have to be a plant hanger. I personally love plants and might have too many, so this will likely hang in my bathroom with a new plant friend, and then it just adds really fun texture and color to a blank wall. So thank you again for being part of this. It's been a journey to do the piece that you see behind me, but to teach these workshops has been a joy, and I'm happy that I can do this virtually in a pre-recorded way so that you can continue to be part of this community and you get to try a project, maybe a project you've tried before, maybe it's a new art form you've never done before. I'm addicted to fiber art. So this has been fantastic. If I have converted you to the fiber art ways, reach out and let's chat. Thank you again. If you would like to return those fiber tassels or those butterfly templates, so we have the butterfly templates or the fiber tassels, you can still do so, and we will include it in this piece right here behind us. So thank you so much. Feel free to reach out with questions. And just remember that the proceeds from this project do go to Artworks, which is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to connect working artists with the community in creative gathering spaces. And that is what we've done here. I really, really appreciate you supporting our nonprofit. We hope you have a really good day. Thank you so much.